But then when you come back, understand that the mission is not complete, and that the second half is when we make our run. It's we still got receipts to collect in the show, and it starts with being able to win this division. We're trying to win the division. We don't. We can play the Buffalo Bills and make sure that the Bills have the same record that we have. We can beat the Dolphins and put them behind us in schedule. We need to sweep our division coming back. We need to make sure that we win the games that we're supposed to win, which are all of them. We
Where's
don't
the
have to lose another game.
where
Ooh, Bart Scott. We're trying to win the division. We need to make sure we win the games we're supposed to win, which are all of them. We don't have to lose another game. That's the mentality. That's the mentality they need to have. That's the mentality. And I believe that's what they are preaching. I believe that's the mentality. That's been the mentality. One game at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time. That's the mentality. Don't change up what you guys been doing to get to this point. Bart Scott had a real fiery, insightful, very insightful podcast with Eric Allen. I was blown away. He has some great points. Um, he spoke about Zach for a while, obviously. He said that when he steps up in the pocket, he has. That's when you have options when you step up in the pocket. He used a phrase which was pretty cool. He said something. In the eye of the hurricane is sunshine and rainbows. On the edges is where there's wind and debris. That is so true, especially, well, some players can handle the wind and debris. Um, some guys are better at it than others, and so far, Zach is subpar. He's below average when he's on the move. You know, he needs to. They need to reel him in. I believe it finally has shown itself. His what needs to get done has finally presented itself to everybody, and it's obvious they need to reel him in. He's like a wild animal, with a lot of talent. They need to reel him in. Um, and the coaching staff did a great job last week because we saw the results of it on Sunday. Zach was absolutely um, under control. They obviously told him step up, stop retreating and running around and leaving the pocket. Trust your line, step up, and look at that. All he had to do was stay in the pocket. He was so much calmer in the pocket. Um, and I think that's what they're going to continue to do. I believe he learned his lesson. Not to say that he won't play teams that will get him off his spot. They'll bring pressure up the middle, and we'll see what he does there. Um, but the coaching did a great job. Zach looked a lot more comfortable. Uh, Bart also talked about, which he had a great point. He said that they were talking about the injuries and with Fant and Max Mitchell and Corey Davis coming back from injury. Uh, and Bart Scott said the Jets are gonna have high end problems, and it's true, and it's absolutely true. The 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 coaching staff has been, I think, Robert Sala absolutely should be in the running for coach of the year. The coaching staff with all of the hurdles and obstacles thrown in their way, dating back to training camp, dating back to Mekhi Becton walking off the field with with a knee issue that we thought wasn't that serious, but ended up being extremely serious and season ending. Dating back to then, which feels like forever ago, the this coaching staff has been doing an incredible job with this patchwork roster. especially on the O line. Patchwork, and the O line just had its best game against the best team. Um, and when they get their starters back on the O line, and then when you get Corey Davis back healthy, hopefully is after the bye week. I'm really interested to see how they're gonna shuffle around this O line when everyone is fully back. Uh, I am very interested to see what they decide to do with the O line. It's it's something definitely to look forward to. It is definitely some high end problems. It's a high end issue to have all this talent and to have to sit somebody down because Nate Herbig has been doing a fantastic job for what he's been thrown into the fire, and he's doing a great job. Um, he had a great game on Sunday. The whole O line had a great game on Sunday, especially in the second half. They did a great job. Um, and then which led to potential playoff talk. And the playoffs are very very important for the Jets right now. Obviously, the mindset is one day, one game. That's a day at a time, a game at a time. That's the mantra, and they should not switch up from what they've been doing. But the fans of the team, we could talk about it. It's it's very important for this team to make the playoffs. It's not like the end all be all, but for them to make the playoffs would be so beneficial for the organization moving forward. The, because all right, you make the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. You never know. When the Giants made the playoffs, um, and they had to win all those road games to make it to the Super Bowl. No one, I didn't think they were going to pull off that run. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. So that's why it's important to make the playoffs, but also making the playoffs and feeling the intensity and the level of competition reach a whole nother level, and all eyes of the country are on you and you have to perform. That is something that these young players and this young roster would benefit from. Just he said them for them to taste the playoffs, to get a taste of it. If they could get a taste of the playoffs, if they make it and play wild card weekend, they play on the wild card round, they perform good or bad, which I believe they'll live up to the expectations. If they make the playoffs, people are going to expect them to play well, because if they make the playoffs, they overachieved everybody's best case scenario. They overachieved it. I thought they were going to win like 8 9 games, and that, maybe 8 9 games, but obviously 8 9 games in the AFC right now probably won't get you in the playoffs. You might need to win definitely 9 games, definitely you no less than 9. So, but if they make the playoffs and they have to put their feet, feel the heat of the playoffs for this young roster to feel that, to taste it. It would suck if they lose the first round, but just for them to imagine next season, say they lose in the wild card round, and it gets where all the fans will be heartbroken, upset, whatever. Yeah, you'll feel positive, but imagine the next year when the season starts. Ooh, the anxiety, the hunger, the everything would be amplified when the season starts next year if they make the wild card round. Because with this young roster, with all the talent spread all over, with the depth of the roster, having layers upon layers of players ready to step in and play, that would be fantastic. That it's important for them to make the playoffs. Um, One of those young players, which they shouted out, which I thought about it because I saw the replay. I watched the replay of the game, and then I saw someone else talk about the specific play with Jermaine Johnson, and it was the all 22 view of the field. If Jermaine Johnson didn't make that tackle, make that sack, they were already in midfield. If he didn't make that sack, Josh Allen would have gained like about 20 plus on that play. He had so much room, so much field open to make to put his team at least in field goal position. And I would imagine with that momentum of a big play like that in the Bills' favor, they I would have thought they were going to score a touchdown, and they probably would have. Jermaine Johnson came up huge, huge on that play. Um, the game was still wide open. It was still wide open. It was there for the taking for the Bills. They stopped the Jets and they got the ball back, and they could have drove down the field and 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 took all the momentum and took the lead and put the pressure right on the Jets to come back, tie, or win the game with a final drive. That was a huge, huge, very important play of the game, and a very important play for Jermaine. To me, with that one play alone, he deserves a bigger role on the team. That play alone, coming back from injury, playing at that level, showcasing that speed and youth and athleticism. He deserves a bigger role. I can't wait to see what what he has in store for the rest of the season. Another point he had was talking about the remainder of the season as a whole, and I was thinking this the other time, the other day. The Jets have been an absolute great second half, fourth quarter team all around. Everybody, everybody steps up a level. Everybody on the team raises the bar, raises their standards in the second half of the game, and the way they play and how they approach the second half of the game is synonymous to the second half of the season. They need to elevate their play level in the second half of the season. And I think they will. This bye week is crucial. If they all listen and follow the instructions of their head coach on how to approach this bye week, then they will come back and they will overperform even better, to the point where, hey, Bart Scott, we need to make sure we win the games we're supposed to win, which are all of them. We don't have to lose another game. Imagine if they don't lose another game for the season. It sounds crazy. I don't think they will lose. I don't think they'll go undefeated after the bye. I really don't. I really don't. But hey, this defense looks crazy right now. The coaching staff is doing a great job. The talent on the team all over. You could automatically, you could jump to Sauce, and you could jump to Quinnen, and you could jump to DJ Reed, you could jump to Quincy and CJ Mosley. You could jump to everyone on the defense, but the offense is doing a great job. There's a lot of unsung heroes. MC stepped up big time in this game. James Robinson stepped up big time. Garrett Wilson, in my opinion, showed he's a number one wide receiver for this team. The coaching helped Zach reel it in. He reeled it in. He tamed the beast that he has inside, and actually played calm and efficient, and took what the defense gave him. Um, The O-line all around played a very solid, very uh, strong game against a Von Miller defensive line. You know, he had that big sack fumble, but they did a great job. They did a great job. Conklin is always a factor. It seems like they're starting to get Uzama involved in different ways, and Uzama's a complete factor in the run game. Denzel Mims made a big. That was another point he said. That Denzel Mims catch is huge for the connection with Mims and Zach Wilson, because that in that moment to make that catch, that is builds trust. It builds trust between the two players. It builds trust with the coaches that Denzel Mims is up for the challenge. He's there to play. He's there to make plays. He's there for the team. His blocking for the running is great. That block for Brees against Denver was huge. He had a few big blocks in this game against the Bills. On that final drive, I believe there was one run for MC. MC had a run of about like 12, 15 yards around there, and Mims was help make that run. He helped a big block. So this whole team is ready to have a decent run after the bye. But imagine if they go undefeated. I know their mentality is definitely what Bart Scott expressed in the podcast. I know they have that mentality, and if they follow what Coach Saleh said and how they should approach the bye, and to end it the way he said, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, Tulum, Dominican Republic, places that are not too far. You could take the family there, have a good time, have a few drinks, have a nice jog on the beach or wherever you're at. Put in a little workout. That's a nice approach to take a little bit of your mind off of football, but still watch the game. Still watch talk to your teammates. Still bond, That is the formula. I think that's a perfect formula, because you want some time away, but not fully away. We're committed to the second half. That is the approach. Watch what you eat. Reel back on the drinks a little bit. Yeah, have a few drinks. Have a wine. Have a Mai Tai, like he said. Have a mojito, margarita. Whatever you feel is necessary to have a good time. Don't overdo it. Take care of your body. Get massages, like he said. And be ready for the next half. Because we're going to take over. Let's go, Jets.
All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. 25th in the league, and we the one to get disrespected.
Congratulations. See you in Pittsburgh.
Can't wait.